And I talk about this because over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I was down with, I'm going to assume it was some sort of a flu. I couldn't tell you what it was. I wasn't sneezing. I didn't have any headaches. I wasn't congested, but for whatever reason, I couldn't talk. My voice was just not there. And according to the doctors, my chest was all full of fluids, even though I would never cough up any fluids or anything of that sort. But I know I was just feeling horrible, and I was down for the count and basically laying on the couch in the chair watching TV the whole time. Got kind of boring. Did some binge watching and stuff like that, but I wanted to get back at it and everything else. And then, excuse me, and then after about a week or so, as you can tell, my voice isn't 100% here, but I needed to get on the air. I needed to do something. I wanted to get the podcast out there again and going. And then about a week later, right at a week later, I decided, okay, I'm going to start doing some workouts, and started doing a workout down in my home gym. And about 15, 20 minutes into it, I was just not feeling it. I mean, I was feeling lightheaded. I was feeling nauseous. I'm like, you know what? There's no sense of me trying to push through this. And that illness might still be there, whatever the illness was. And I'm at the age now, and which is what the topic of the day is going to be. I'm at the age now of I don't need to push through the illness. Maybe my immune system isn't like it was when I was 25 years old. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not looking internally. I'm just going by how my body feels and what I want to get accomplished. Now, if I was a top-notch athlete, if I was some sort of bodybuilder, competitor of some sort, whatever discipline it would be, whether it be and anything to do with weights or working out or any kind of distance running or bicycling. If I was a competitor, whole different ball game at that point. And that's what I want to talk about. If you're just and I don't want to say the average Joe, because I'll talk about that in another podcast, because if you're getting up and working out or doing something physical every day to make yourself sweat, to better yourself, to get you more into that fit and healthy lifestyle, you're not average. You're way past the average. But anyway, getting back to what I was talking about. So about 15, 20 minutes into it, it just wasn't happening for me. I wasn't feeling up to it, and I knew I was doing everything subpar. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna stop and give this a couple more days. And so that was what is today? Today's Wednesday. And if you're listening to it live, you'll see it's Wednesday. If you're listening to it in the future, well, this is a Wednesday. So that was Monday. So I decided to give it a couple more days, and I jumped back on the horse, so to speak, today, and did a workout this morning. And actually, it was the same workout I was doing on Monday, just to see how I felt. And yeah, I felt sluggish doing it because it's been a couple of weeks since I worked out. I'll be honest with you, and I'm sure the illness is still inside of me somewhere, trying to get out. As you can tell, my voice isn't 100%, but I was able to get through the workout. I don't want to say push through the workout because, once again, going back to what I was saying, I'm not a big believer if you're hurting illness-wise in some way, shape, or form. I don't think you should be pushing through a workout, especially when you're getting up there in age a little bit. There's no point. There's no point, once again, unless you're a competitor of some sort. But if you're doing it for the fit and healthy lifestyle, it almost defeats the purpose, and I'm sure there's people out there who will argue with me. But I got through it today, and, man, I was sweating more so than I thought I would, which is a good thing. At least for me it is. I like it when I sweat. I like to see the sweat dribble down and come off the side of the top of the nose and things of that sort. I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, another little cough there. But that's that's where I was, and that's why you haven't seen me for a while doing anything. So that was the illness part. Now, when I talk about that, I want to make sure that we talk about something else, and this is something called DOMS, and it's an acronym. It's DOMS, and that stands for Delayed Onset Muscle Soreness. That's totally different than an illness. And a good example of this is if you haven't worked out for a while or haven't done anything physical for a while, and you start doing something, let's say, and for me, the most obvious thing is doing some sort of squats, deep knee bends, up downs, whatever with your legs, whatever, and in your quadriceps, you start feeling it the next day or 2 days later, and it's the feeling you get when you try to straighten out your leg, and it's almost it's stiff. You can feel the muscle inside of it, and it's a painful feeling, I guess, but it's not the ouch kind of feeling. It's not the pain where, if, for instance, if you move your arm and you feel like a needle's going through it or something, that's pain. I'm talking about the when you straighten out your leg, you can feel your muscles in the soreness, but it hurts, but you laugh at it. And if you've experienced before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's okay. That's called DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. Those are okay to have. And there's a debate going on in the community. Some people say when you work out, you should always feel the DOMS the next couple of days. Other people say you shouldn't. I'm not going to tell you whether you should or you shouldn't. My personal philosophy is if you feel the DOMS in the next day or two, for me, it's usually 2 days after. I feel it the second day, but it really kicks in at 2 days after. You know you actually did something. So that, to me, it's a good feeling. I'm not here to debate whether you should or shouldn't have it. My thing is, if you have it and you know what I'm talking about, if you felt it before, you know you did something, which is good, all right? So you want to make sure you keep doing something because you want to have that ouchy laugh kind of feeling with your muscles. That, to me, it means you're doing something. So the difference between the illness and the DOMS. The illness is you don't want to push through something that keeps you down for whatever reason. When I say down, I mean not able to do everyday functions. Once again, I was laid up. I was on the couch. Like I said, I'm sure we've all been there before. Great for binge watching TV. Oh, absolutely. You get some sort of streaming device. I have a Roku. All kinds of stuff you can watch on there. Not a problem there, but it's absolutely horrible for getting anything accomplished. And that's where I was. So tomorrow, I'm hoping to feel the DOMS because, the workout today, I pushed it a little bit, not as much as I really wanted to, because once again, I'm trying to get back into it. But my goal is this month, this being the first of the month, I will be doing some sort of workout every day this month. I want to sweat every day this month. That's my goal. And that's the purpose of the podcast. The purpose of the Facebook Live today is to let you know that it's okay to take a couple of days off if you have the illness, but it's not okay to take a couple of days off if you have the DOMS going on. Okay. And as you can hear right now, my voice isn't 100%. So I'm going to go ahead and probably stop this now and go from there. But be looking out, topfitnessstrategies.com. And I'll also be posting stuff on my Facebook page and personal page, business page, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and all that good stuff. I'm also on Instagram now. I don't know how to use Instagram, but I am on it, so you can find me, Andrew Poletto. Look for it, and all the good jazz. So if you're listening, and I'm going to give all my plugs here. If you're listening to the podcast, keep up to date. Go to Stitcher.com. You can go to iTunes, and once again, I don't know how to use iTunes. As far as I know, it's on iTunes. If anybody out there can tell me if it is or not, great. Also on SoundCloud. And, of course, you could always go to the website, topfitnessstrategies.com, which I highly encourage you. Now, if any of those places you go to, please register or subscribe to their feed service, their news service, their newsletter, whatever they call it. On my particular website, you'll get on the emailing list. And no, I'm not going to bombard you with a bunch of stuff. Don't worry. I just want you to be aware of what's going on. And it's a real fun way to communicate. I still love email, and I'll go that route. Okay, so that's it for the Top Fitness Strategies podcast and also the Facebook Live simulcast. So until next time, this is Andrew, Top Fitness Strategies. Peace out, my brothers, my workout brothers and sisters. Until next time, this is Andrew. Ciao.